welcome to the Webcast for Monday, July 14th. I'm South Ops meteorologist Jonathan O'Brien. A deep marine layer is in place this morning with low clouds blanketing the coasts and coastal valleys and in some cases approaching the lower coastal slopes. Meanwhile, sunny skies are in place across the interior. The marine clouds will steadily burn back this morning, but will return in full force again tonight as we head into what will be a very June gloom type of week. Here's a look at our overnight maximum RH values. With the deep marine layer and an otherwise pretty typical air mass in place, we saw good recoveries across the coastal areas last night, and mostly fair to good recoveries across the interior, with some lower numbers in the typical drier spots. We still have high pressure over us today, and that's going to continue keeping temperatures pretty warm across the interior. Here are the forecast highs. Still not excessively hot, but generally near to a few degrees above normal away from the marine influence. As we head through this week, the area of high pressure that has been over us will weaken, which will bring us a pronounced cooling trend. The weakening high pressure will also open the door for a developing area of disturbed weather off the Baja California coast to drift its way northward and eventually over Southern California by later this week. In the meantime, the next few days will feature a cooling trend but otherwise unremarkable weather. One thing to point out is that while winds will mostly follow typical local trends for most of this week, there will be some decent breeziness across the interior tomorrow. It's not a classic ridge breakdown pattern, but the weakening of the high will allow for more in the way of westerly flow to surface across the ridges and passes. Westerly winds of 15 to 25 miles per hour with gusts to 40 miles per hour or higher will be common in the usual windy spots. Otherwise, though, the main story through midweek will be the cooling temperatures. We'll cool off a few degrees tomorrow and several more degrees on Wednesday, with highs falling below average for this time of year. Minimum humidity will remain mainly between 12 and 25% above and inland from the marine layer through Wednesday, but that marine layer is going to be very deep. It's already about 2,000 feet today and will likely push more towards 3,000 feet by Wednesday, impressive for mid-July. So expect a lot of cloudiness and cool weather in the coastal areas. By the end of this week, all eyes will be on that disturbance working its way up from Baja. That disturbance will be bringing moisture and instability along with it. There is a slight chance for an isolated afternoon shower or thunderstorm over the Sierra and northern deserts any day through Wednesday, but very few, if any, lightning strikes are expected in that time. As that disturbance moves in, there will be a much better chance for showers and thunderstorms by Thursday or Friday and into the upcoming weekend. Activity appears most likely over the mountains and deserts of Southern California as well as over the Sierra, with lesser chances elsewhere. However, while confidence is fair to good on an uptick in thunderstorm activity late this week, there is still very low confidence on both the aerial coverage and prevailing nature, wetter versus drier, of the thunderstorm activity. So we encourage you to keep an eye on the forecast in the coming days as we fine-tune it. With the cooling temperatures and mostly steady or rising humidity this week, dead fuel moistures will start to show rising trends in most areas, or will at least remain steady. The deep marine layer will keep fuels quite wet in the coastal areas, but there will remain decently receptive conditions across most of the interior. Live fuel moistures continue to steadily fall and are mostly following their typical seasonal cycle. Overall, few fire weather concerns are expected through Thursday, but large fire potential will remain elevated the next couple of days due to the continued warm, dry, and locally breezy conditions across the interior. Wind and terrain-aligned starts will continue to have good spread potential, at least in their initial burn period. As it stands now, some new lightning ignitions do appear likely late this week. However, their short-term growth potential will probably be tempered by both potential moisture and/or relatively cool temperatures and elevated humidity. Still, there is a lesser but non-zero potential for the late-week lightning to be more problematic with less moisture, and temperatures will probably trend upwards again sometime next week, which could increase growth potential on any existing fires. So we will continue to keep a close eye on that forecast in the days ahead. That's it for today's webcast. Thanks for joining us. The next one will be on Tuesday, July 15th.